Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. So we got some good Stellar news. Stellar CEO is going to be on the IMF panel on cross-border payments. Now obviously this gets Stellar some exposure, and the increase in Stellar price could be both attributed to this and also its inclusion in USDC. USDC is still going to be on Ethereum, of course, and most of it's going to be on Ethereum, but they are looking for other protocols to host USDC on because Ethereum obviously has speed issues. So Stellar is one of the protocols that Ethereum is actually going to kind of port to. Now that both of those things are very, very good for Stellar. So Stellar CEO Daniel Dixon will be part of our 4-person panel discussion on private sector's role in addressing shortcomings of cross-border payments at the IMF annual meeting Monday. So obviously this is going to get Stellar some exposure, and maybe some of the big wigs will actually get to know what Stellar is. Also on the panel are Jonathan Dharmapal, CEO of eCurrency, Rory McFarquhar, Senior VP of MasterCard, and Reen Reinsberg, CEO of Cello. So it doesn't look like they're the only crypto people on the panel, but it is good that they are going to be on the panel. They're going to be answering questions, maybe getting some IMF officials to actually get on board. Now remember, Ripple has had panels with the IMF before, and that never really led to much. So I wouldn't expect like mass adoption of Stellar or anything for the upcoming future, but this does get them some exposure. The panel, which will be webcast, will start at 9 a.m. Eastern Time Monday. I'm guessing the IMF is just getting like some of these crypto companies together and having some of them be on the panel to get their officials and get more world officials more knowledgeable about crypto. This does not signal any kind of oncoming adoption for any of these cryptos, but it's still good for Stellar. It immediately follows a panel of policymakers that includes U.S. Federal Chairman Jerome Powell that will discuss the same topic, and precedes one that discusses the public sector's role in cross-border payments. After, there will be a 4th panel consisting of co-chairs of a task force set up to propose a roadmap of concrete actions to improve cross-border payments. So this is like one of three or four panels, and Stellar will actually be part of this panel. I think there's probably going to be other crypto companies on these panels as well. And, you know, like the IMF, like I said, is going to invite some of these moving forward, because like they do know that blockchain and crypto are going to take part in the future. It's probably going to be several years before like any kind of real adoption happens. Remember, like the digital euro thing, they said they wanted it by sometime this decade. This decade could mean 2029, and probably like the full adoption of CBDCs will probably be in the later half of this of the 2020s. So, but this is still very, very good for Stellar, because you know, it's kind of like risen from the grave. Stellar hasn't had any news for a while, and now it's you know, the USDC thing was pretty cool, and now the IMF panel thing is pretty cool. So it's finally gotten some events, and this has somewhat invigorated Stellar's price, only at 8.5 cents. But it's still much better movement than we've had in a while. So very good news for Stellar. If you're invested in Stellar, I suppose this is something to actually cheer about. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.